For those of you who are just now tuning in, my name is Caleb.
And I'm Jenny.
And this is Stories Rooted in Transformation. As we transition, I think is a good word, into kind of our next phase of this podcast, I want to point out that to the audience that it's going to look a little bit different. For those of you who are new, we went over our 5 pillars, 6 episodes, 5 pillars, and it was very structured. It was very cutthroat, facts, all those things, because we really need to emphasize what is required and the qualities that a person needs to possess in order to be able to effectively move through the process of transformation. So, with all that in mind, we've got some big things coming up. We're going to continue our 120-day challenge. For those of you who are tuning in, we'd love to hear if you have hopped on the train of the 120-day challenge. If you have, leave a comment.
Today's day 106.
There's
106
days left. Yes, we keep doing that.
I keep doing that.
We're just going to say day 106. We're counting down. We're counting down. So if we just keep it consistent, today's 106, tomorrow's 105, the next day's 104. It's a countdown, right? So yeah. It is what it is. Whatever. 106, 11 days, whatever. We got 106 days left in this thing. And so we would like to hear how y'all's journey is going so far. And if you haven't hopped on yet, it's not too late. Yesterday was the best day, but today is the next best day. So don't let it go till tomorrow. But yeah, so a lot of this is going to be us sharing our stories, how our 120-day challenge is currently going. And then we are going to have themes that go along with the week based on what we've discovered through our hard work, through us pushing one another and pushing ourselves. And so today is preparation, as you can probably see right here. But yeah, we're going to be talking about preparation a little bit today and how preparation has helped for us to get through the week. And it's only appropriate because this is the start of the 120-day challenge, and we were covering a pillar through the 120-day challenge. So now that we're no longer covering pillars, preparation is just extremely appropriate for the theme of the week, especially starting out this challenge. So I'd be curious, preparation, how is that kind of formulated the start of your 120-day journey?
So this is a word that resonates with me a lot because, as you know, I'm a planner. And when things go awry, I don't handle them very well, do I?
Nope.
So I'm sure some of you watching can also agree with that statement. And if that's you, make sure you pay attention to what I'm saying today.
Can I hop in here?
Go ahead.
Nobody prepares for this podcast more than she does. Nobody. I think she's got 3 notebooks where she's writing different things I'm like, Jenny, let's hold them up. Let's compare. Ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead. You first. 1,
2, 3, almost 4, but I got tired last night. It was like midnight and I was like, I don't want to keep writing.
What are those?
Oh, yeah. Well, this is my prayer and devotional journal, well, that's good. But I do want to take some stuff out of here. That's why I have it. And then wait a minute. Here's another.
Yes.
Actually, this is Caleb's composition notebook because I couldn't find mine one day, so I just picked up a random one.
I was wondering where that went, but
yeah, you have a lot of notebooks.
I know. All right, my turn.
Go. The words just flow. So
So nobody prepares better than Jenny. That's what I'm trying to say.
But I think preparation doesn't necessarily mean action, right? So now that we've established how many notebooks I have, so that was something while I was preparing for the podcast this week. After some research, that was something that I realized in my life I need to change. I need to keep all of my thoughts in one place. So this week, actually, we were on spring break and I didn't have any students. So my boss was like, oh, well, you don't have to like really come into work. Just work remotely, which of course I love the sound of, right? But it threw my routine off. And I didn't prepare well for that. So usually what I try to do is that I try to prepare the night before for the next day.
Yeah.
This week it was just completely off. I worked out at random times, missed a couple workouts. I didn't go nearly as hard as I usually do in the gym. I was just all over the place. So as much as I usually prepare, this week I didn't prepare well. I can definitely say that. So that's something that I'm going to take into next week or this week coming up and be more consistent.
Yeah.
But a lot of psychologists have, like, I was reading that a lot of psychologists will tell you, and just like a lot of type A people will tell you that keeping everything in like one notebook. So we actually do that. We have like 1 million different notebooks for 1 million different thoughts. So maybe keeping everything in one place will be better for me. So I have one agenda, one calendar, and that's where I need to keep all my thoughts. I don't know if you feel that would help you, but I'm going to try that. A lot of this transformation is experience, right? And part of our experience is a trial and error.
Yep.
So I'm going to see how that works this week for me.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't work this week, I'm not going to give up on it. I'm going to try to solidify that routine for maybe a solid 30 days.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, this isn't working.
Yeah.
Let's try the next thing.
Yeah. I want to jump in there because something that really stood out to me when it comes to this idea of preparation, because again, we are in our 120-day challenge. And so we're constantly thinking, and we do before the week starts, say, okay, let's focus on this week, and so preparation was just kind of something that really resonated with us this week. But anyway, throughout this week, one of the things that I really discovered, and it really hit me last night, that I talked to you about, and I'm about to go run and get it, so you're going to have to keep them entertained while I go grab it. But one of the things that really stood out to me, and I said it last night, was I was flipping through my running journal, and I was like, I laughed a little bit. I was right there with you, and I was like, I literally just laugh every time I look at this, because I don't know what was going through my mind when I thought I was going to be able to run this marathon after skipping this and skipping this and skipping this. And so it hit me last night, but throughout the week I was really thinking about this, that preparation, it requires so much honesty.
Yeah.
Because without it, failure comes in the form of apathy and delusion. Not doing any of the work, but convincing yourself that missing and skipping is okay. Right?
Yeah.
Not only that, but now you bring up a good point. If we prepare and we work hard to prepare and then we fail in that preparation, if we're not honest, we start to become a little delusional, right? We start to say, oh, well, it'll eventually work.
Yeah.
Surely the work that I did was good enough.
Yeah.
And so maybe it's just going to take time. And then you keep doing it and you keep doing it and nothing's changing. You have to be willing to change. You have to have an open mind about your journey of transformation. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be okay. Because if not, failure then becomes a bad thing. Failure then becomes this idea of apathy and resistance towards progress instead of feedback and progress towards transformation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think what you were saying about changing your stuff, going into this next week is a really good thing,
And I think in order to...
All right, keep them entertained. I'm gonna go grab it real quick.
I think in order to really gauge that feedback, we have to write everything down. So I was actually watching some videos on calorie deficits because I'm currently in a weight loss journey. And this is one of the hardest things that I have done because for the last like 10 years of my life, I have tried in different parts of my life to lose weight. And it's been so difficult for me. I always give up. This is probably the longest that I've actually kept up with my calorie deficit. It's been, let's call it like 2 months, maybe a little bit more. And the first month, in the last month, I barely have dropped a few pounds, right? And I've been so frustrated. And I was watching this one influencer online, and she was talking about feedback. And she said, and part of that was honesty, and part of that was writing things down. So how can I really gauge what I am doing if I'm not writing it down, if I'm not tracking data, right? So that's something that I am making a point every day. I track my data. I track everything that I eat. I track my water intake. I track my steps and my workouts. I don't focus so much on how many calories I'm burning because that's not very accurate. But after 30 days, I'm going to look back and I'm going to say, where did I take a misstep? Where did I mess up? How do I do this better? Or, okay, what you're doing is working. Let's keep doing the same thing. So make sure that you are properly, honestly tracking your data, not,
right, making exceptions or making like these, like you said, it's hard to explain because everybody has like a hint of narcissism, just a hint of it. And so you'll literally be lying to yourself. You'll be writing things down. And like a great example is this, and you'll be right, and the last thing you want to do is write, well, I ate a cookie today.
Yeah.
So that adds 150 calories. You're just gonna be like, yeah, well, it was one cookie. I just won't write it.
It was just one, right? Exactly. Yeah. So you have to be honest in this process. Have to look at yourself in the mirror, and even really write down the ugly parts of the data.
Yeah, because that's preparation.
Exactly.
You're preparing for the next day. You're preparing for the future.
Exactly.
Writing things down is not reactive. It's proactive. You're not writing things down. And again, it goes for you're talking about weight loss. It goes for this too. It goes for schoolwork. You have to be writing things down if you want to get good grades in schoolwork. Volleyball, we are constantly preparing for games.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that was...
You're good.
Yeah.
But go ahead with what you're going to say, because I do have something else I want to add.
Yeah. So this is my running journal. As everybody knows, I've said it a million times. And if you're just tuning in, I'm going to say it again. I am training for a marathon. I've been training for a long time now. I don't even care to count how many days I've been training at this point. But the first time I did it, as you can see, it's a lot. There's a lot to it. There's a lot going on here. I run almost every single day in the preparation or the official training phase. And so a lot of these are not fun. For example, progression run. 10-minute easy, 10-minute steady, 10-minute threshold. Then I have one that's 15-minute easy, 15-minute steady, 15-minute threshold. And then you have 10-minute continuous hills, 2 times, and then 2-minute rest. 6-minute hills, continuous, 3 times, 2-minute rest. 10-minute hill, like that. So I was picking and choosing. I was like, I don't really feel like doing it that day. What's one day? I'm just going to miss it, and I'll move on to the next day.
Even last night, we had a tornado warning. And Kayla was like, I don't know. Should I go on my run? And what time was it? Like 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
It was like 9 o'clock. We were watching the USA versus DR game. And he was like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, Caleb, I don't want the tornado to take you up. But if you're using that as an excuse,
get out and run.
Get out and run.
Yeah. And so I would do that. And then I would say, okay, I'm going to go on my 100-minute long run. Because that seemed appealing to me.
So the parts that didn't seem the parts that seemed unfavorable.
Yes.
You were skipping.
I was skipping them, and I was like, you know what? As long as I'm doing most of it, I'll be able to run that marathon.
Yeah.
And by October, I think it was October. Yeah. By October, I was injured.
And by the way, this is great because you could probably do something like a 30-day check-in. That's something that I want to do for myself because I think writing things down and planning is also a reflective tool.
It is.
You know?
And so that's what I was about to show now.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it totally different now. First of all, this is important to me. When I get to cross these off, that means I've accomplished it. And so one thing I've noticed is these 5 days were hardest. So they were originally 1/ like this. And then I skipped a couple days. So I was like, no, I'm going to start over. And then I went through the X's like that. But I noticed if I can just push through like these first 6 or 7 days, now I'm starting to fill up a page with X's. Mm-hmm. And so now I have to cross this one off. You know, and so it's those little things like that. But it took me failing and then review, okay, where did I go wrong there? How do I prepare better?
Yeah.
You know, and being proactive. That's what preparation is. Preparation is proactive. It's not reactive. It's not like, it's proactive. It's going to help you to continue to get better and stay consistent and give you clear direction and guidance.
Yeah. And I think also part of preparation and writing things down, I think it helps take off a little bit of a mental load because there's so many times that my brain is just going everywhere. And I often make this joke that I remember that one SpongeBob episode of him going crazy looking for that one file. Yeah. And everything is just like a dumpster fire. Like that's what my brain feels like most of the day. Like I have crazy brain fog. So I have to get to the root cause of that. But I think one thing that helps me out a lot is preparing for my week. So like Sundays, whether that's like in the morning after I finish church or at night, I will go through my agenda and be like, okay, what I have coming up this week, what do I need to prioritize? I think a lot of times too, I struggle with, like perfectionism, right? So I want to hit everything.
Yeah.
But that overwhelms me. So a good tip would be to look at the things that you want to prioritize for the week and even for the following day. My mom, when I was little, she always used to make all of us put out our clothes for the next day. We had like a chair in the room and she'd be like, okay, you got to put your clothes out for the next day, get all your stuff ready. We would prep our lunch for the next day, all those things. So, I mean, there's true, like research that backs preparing for the following day. There's a lot of successful people that even talk about this.
Yeah. And so, you're talking about how you have this strong desire to get every single thing done. And that brings me to my next good point, which is that preparation also requires confidence. Without confidence, preparation will not just be inconsistent, but will feel resistant. Lack of confidence forces us to panic and stray away from that preparation on one extreme, and then on the other extreme, lack of confidence takes preparation and sets it in stone. So preparation is not to a T. Preparation is not your master. It's not like commanding you to, hey, you have to do this.
Right.
There has to be flexibility. There has to be adaptation. Perfect example is we're in the middle of a season right now. So we're in the middle of the season right now and I'm training for a marathon. What am I going to do? Oh, we're in the middle of the season right now, so I can't train for a marathon right now because I can't do this exactly as I'm supposed to. No. Yeah. It doesn't matter. So one thing that I had to do was bring my running shoes and I had to run on a treadmill at the hotel at 11 p.m. at night,
Yeah.
and that doesn't align with me getting up in the morning and running, but it's fine. It's fine. I have confidence that what this is telling me to do is going to work.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to stray away from this, and I'm not going to let this absolutely 100% define and rule my world either.
Yeah. You have to 100% believe in your plan, in
Yes.
the plan that you made.
Absolutely. Yes, that's the thing. If you are not confident in your research, if you are not confident in your ability to transform, then you're not going to be patient. You're going to prepare essentially for nothing, because you're not going to be patient, and you're going to just say, well, this isn't moving along fast enough.
Yeah.
I have to do something else. You're going to panic.
Yeah. And that confidence also helps us in our discipline, and it takes away that need for motivation.
Yeah, exactly, because it's just going to be a fact of the matter. We're going to get up. Like last night, I was in the middle of my run last night, and I'll never forget thinking like, well, this is just the fact of the matter. You know, I'm not enjoying this.
Yeah.
I'm running at night. It's a little bit cold. The wind is knocking me sideways. And I was just running, you know, and at night, no music. And I'm just like, well, it's the fact of the matter. You know, this is what it is. I got to do this. So, and then to further talk about confidence, running is, if you are not confident, buy a pair of running shoes. This is why. Because running, there's no lying in running. Running is the most honest thing that you can do possible. Because running is just you and the time. That's it. It's not even about the person that's passing you. Because they got their own time.
Yeah.
You got your time, they got their time. You're not going to outrun them. It's impossible. If they're faster than you, they're faster than you. So running is very honest. And one thing that I discovered in my first bit of running, again, failure's okay, right? And so I learned a lot from my first time of failing, because I strayed away from this. I learned that zone 2 running is the most important thing. And it was so confusing to me, because I'm like, how in the world is zone 2 running your most important thing? I'm running at like a 12, 30, 13-minute pace. How is that beneficial whatsoever? You need to run as hard as you can. Like, that's the most important thing. That's what I thought at first. Mm. But then I just trusted it, and I was like, okay, what do I know? And I noticed that when I did run my hardest, my heart rate was able to stay really low, and my lactic threshold was I had a higher tolerance, and so I was able to run faster for longer, because my heart was trained to remain in zone 2. Yeah. And my heart and my body was trained to have a faster zone 2 time, so that when I did run harder, running harder and faster was a reflection of a strong foundation in the zone 2 heart rate. But it only took me being confident in that ideology, that my body was going to be able to learn and adapt to that way of thinking in order to become a better runner. And so now I've started over. My training, it's started completely over. And so what I did the first time around in my preparation was I was running the 2 mile as fast as I could. I was running the 3 mile as fast as I could. And that really could have been a wear and tear on my body, but I won't know until I get to the end of the training. But I'm training zone 2. And so I'm out there running 3 miles at like basically in 34 minutes, which is terrible. If you're a runner, please don't laugh at me, because you know it's terrible, but I'm training zone 2. And so I have to trust that me literally running at like this for 3 miles is going to make me a faster runner. Mm-hmm. But I have to have that confidence that it's going to work, because if not, I'm going to stray away from it. I'm just going to start running in these zone 4, zone 5, insane heart rate patterns that is going to kill me, and then see very slow progress.
Yeah. So we're probably targeting different
of course
groups. So for me, there's probably women out there that are also like struggling with weight loss, and something that, and it could be like just a very trivial thing, like he said, getting new running shoes or something, right? We talk a lot about like motivation is not what's going to propel you forward in this process.
No.
However, if you can do little things, that help motivate you, why not?
Yeah.
Let's take every benefit that we can in this process. Mm-hmm. So for me, I get really excited about a cute gym set, or like, I get excited about like a cute Stanley cup, right? So I make sure that like my Stanley is filled and ready to go the night before, because I know I have to wake up at 7 or 7:30 in the morning to go work out. I make sure my gym outfit is laid out and I already know what I'm gonna wear for the next day. I have to get new gym shoes because mine are all worn out. So that's gonna be the next, step I take to help motivate me a little bit. But I also think that preparation and planning is a mindset. So for me, and also, Caleb talked about being honest in that preparation. So for me, I feel like in the past, I have failed so many times because I wasn't honest with how long and grueling the process could be. Mm-hmm. Realistically, I might not hit my weight goal for another 2 years.
Yeah. And let's also talk about it in this sense, and going back to my running. Well, let's not even talk about running, because I'm preparing for a lot of things right now. I'm preparing for graduation. I'm preparing for school. I'm preparing for. I'll get a bad grade, and I'll call my mom. Mom, if you're watching this, you can relate, because you hear me. You hear more than anybody. I'll call my mom.
Well, mom's in Greece right now, so I don't
Mom's in Greece right now. That's true. She's probably, I don't know if she's sleeping, but anyway, I'll call her and I'll be like, this is ridiculous. Like, I don't understand how I got this bad grade. Like, how could she do this to me? I worked hard on this, and her feedback, it doesn't even make any sense. Like, look at this. She's saying that I did this wrong and this wrong, but I didn't do that wrong. And my mom was like, listen to yourself, Caleb. You're saying that a professor graded your work wrong. Are you really reading the rubric? Are you being honest with yourself? Do you think that maybe you working hard isn't enough to get that good grade? And then I get a little butthurt about it, but then I have to sit back and recognize, like, you know what? Yeah, I am working hard, and that hard work has told me one thing, that I am not doing something right.
Yeah.
And I'm able to use that I'm able to use that feedback that the professor gave me to do much better on the next assignment. Right. But that only took lots of preparation for that particular assignment. And whereas if I had written it the day before, because of apathy, because of no preparation, and I got that grade, now guess what I'm going to say? Oh, thank goodness, I got a 70. Whew.
Yeah.
And now what have I done? I've lowered my standard.
Right.
But that wasn't because I did bad work. That was because I did bad preparation.
Right.
So not getting a favorable outcome after preparation can still be a really good thing, because you're getting accurate, valuable feedback, versus you didn't prepare well and then you have that bad result. And so two things. One, you're going to be okay with it because you didn't prepare and you still got an outcome, so your standards have lowered. But then two, you're not getting accurate feedback, because the reality is the thing that could have been wrong is preparation. Yeah. But you won't know because you didn't prepare.
Right. So I think it's important for us we are both preparing for a lot of different things, but the main thing that I am focusing on is my weight loss and just being a healthier version of myself overall. And then for Caleb, it's, his running journey to get him to his marathon. So I think that it's important that we create realistic timelines.
Yes. Definitely.
That preparation, we have to understand that it's not going to be from one day to the next. The outcome, you're not going to see the outcome just because I prepared so well this week.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
you
like-
are gonna fail,
Yep.
but like Caleb always says, feedback or
Failure
failure
is-
equals feedback.
Yeah.
You know, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna, I can't remember what I was gonna say, but I will say this, going back to your, you talking about how the reality of preparation is that you're not going to see that outcome right away.
Right.
In social work, we have this grueling preparation process when it comes to maximizing the effectiveness of a program for a particular need that an agency sees in a community. So we have the needs evaluation, the program evaluation, the outcome evaluation, and then the, what was the other one? And then, I can't remember the other one now. Anyway, there's 4 of them. One is, there's this entire process just to discover what that need is. Then there's an entire process just to see if the steps that are going to be taken for the people who are going to be reaping the benefits of the program are effective. And then after those first 2, you have the outcome, which is to measure the outcome. It's to look at the outcome, to see the outcome, and to see if that preparation was effective.
Right.
And then you have the 4th evaluation, which again, I can't remember the name right now, but that is literally to say, what can we do better here?
Mm-hmm.
What do we have to do better here to further enhance the ability of the program? All of that is preparation.
Yeah.
And it can take up to 2 years. And the only way to do that, those different forms of preparation, is to actually practice the program. And so to your point, you can prepare, do it for a week, miserably fail, and then if you don't have that confidence to say, oh, this is just feedback,
Right.
You're going to either quit, or you're just going to be narcissistic and say, or you're not going to be narcissistic, but you're going to lie to yourself and say, oh, well, I prepared so hard that there's no way this doesn't work. I'm just going to try it again. And then it's not going to work.
Yeah, and I think, I was listening to, I was just on YouTube yesterday, and I was listening to like a few different people talk about preparation. And one thing that stuck out to me, which we kind of touched on in the beginning, was making sure that your calendar reflects or equals your future. Mm-hmm. So what you prioritize, what you value is going to show up on a weekly basis on your calendar. So if I say that I'm a Christian woman, right, and I'm not spending any time with God, I'm not looking at my calendar and jotting down time for God, how strong is my relationship? Mm-hmm. Is that something that I really value?
Yeah.
Is if weight loss is my priority, if being healthier is my priority, but I'm leaving the scraps of time at the end of my day to, I'll see if I can get a workout in,
Yep.
Is that really what I value?
Right.
If, like, for example, you're in doing your master's right now, if getting A's is something that you value, but you're leaving the scraps of time to, let me see if I can write a little today. Let me see if I can read a little today. You're not prioritizing your time. You're not valuing your, your goal. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really important that we make sure that, in that weekly reset, like for me, it's on Sundays. I need to make sure that I do a better job of not only writing down everything that I prioritize, but scheduling time for those things. Because I think that would help propel me into action.
Yeah.
So obviously the essentials are sleeping, eating, work. Okay, what's left after that? So am I going to schedule time for God? Am I going to schedule time for my family? Am I going to schedule time for my workouts? Or am I just going to get to the end of the day and be like, oh, well, I didn't have time today, so guess I can't do my workout.
Yeah.
No, everyone has the same 24 hours. You have to create the time. You have to make the time.
Yeah.
We get to choose to make the time, not just, oh, well, if I do great, if I don't, oh, well. Caleb doesn't get to choose to, do some of those gruesome, unfavorable running
Yes. Correct.
drills that he has to do.
Yeah.
He has to do it, even in a tornado warning.
Yeah, even in a tornado warning. Yeah, I think preparation is proactive, and preparation is progress. But to your point, your preparation has to align with your identity.
Yeah.
And so James Clear in the book of Atomic Habits, he talks about how it's not good enough to say I'm gonna run a marathon. Mm-hmm. No, you have to identify as a runner.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. But it's not good enough to just do that and then not align your preparation with your identification. They feed off of one another. If you identify as a runner, you're going to prepare to run better. If you prepare to run better, it's going to enhance your identity as a runner. So those two things feed off of one another. But it's super important that preparation and identity coexist, work together, so that you can enhance your ability to remain consistent in this journey of transformation.
Yeah. And, part of that, you just triggered a thought from me. Yesterday we were watching service, and the pastor talked about the 4Ds, and one of those 4Ds was direction, right? So he was talking about Ruth and how she had to leave Moab and she didn't know anyone, but she knew that she had to align with her purpose, right? So part of that identity that Caleb is talking about is making sure that our goals align with our purpose or with our calling. That's why that purpose, that first pillar, is so important.
Yep.
Because everything flows from there.
Your identity. Your identity flows from purpose. Your discipline is enhanced because of purpose. When you're in the middle of experience like this, we're experiencing this podcast right now, and we've got to recognize our purpose for this podcast. We're going through a time in the season right now where, in volleyball, I'm referring to, where we're starting to, I feel like, lose our sense of purpose right now.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying we're still pretty successful right now. We're not.
But you did mention that the last few games, they haven't been playing to their full potential.
Correct. And there has been conversations, and so we're being proactive. We're learning how to re-prepare, because preparation is not reactive. If you're doing things reactively, you need to check yourself. That's not preparation.
And that's where that adaptation comes in too sometimes.
Yes.
Like you're talking about re-preparing. So if my calendar is not propelling me to do all the things that I said I was going to do, well, maybe I need to change my priorities, change my calendar, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes we might do our 30-day check-in and be like, this didn't work. I failed miserably.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to prepare better.
Yeah.
I have to change my preparation.
Yeah, for sure. I think too that preparation allows for us to enhance our ability to adapt and be reactive, because reactivity is not preparation, it's adjusting.
Yeah.
And so if you're only ever reactive and you're constantly adjusting, you're always going to be behind. Yeah. Preparation allows for you to adapt and adjust much easier, because preparation serves as a guidance and allows for you to focus on the things that you have to adjust to, that you have to adapt to, so that you can do that effectively. We're not saying that preparation is the end-all be-all,
right,
and anything that you have to adjust to needs to be neglected and pushed away. No, you're going to have to adapt. You're going to have to adjust. This is life. Life isn't black and white.
Right. Things
come up, things happen. But when you prepare, it allows for you to handle those things in a much better and effective way.
Definitely.
So, look, at the end of the day, preparation is the nucleus of success. It's the foundation of success. Without preparation, you're building a house with no foundation.
Yeah.
You're starting at the roof and working your way down. And it could fall at any moment. Actually, it won't work. It's impossible to build a house from starting at the roof. Like, preparation is the nucleus of success.
I agree.
So,
Good, Dave. I feel like we need to count. Wait, we gotta erase 107.
yep. Boom. 107 is down.
So we have 106 days left.
Yep.
Today is
That means today is day 114. Or 114, no. 114 would be right here. Not 114. 14.
14.
Today's day 14.
Day 14.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so just to, before we close this up, 14 days in, this has been quite hard. I won't lie. It just, I don't know what it is about the human condition, just wanting to do the easier thing.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling to me. We know what's good for us.
Right.
And yet we have to constantly choose every day. We have to constantly make a decision every day to do the hard thing. And the easy thing is very instinctive. That's one thing that I've discovered in these past 2 weeks, these past 14 days, that man, it's a real chore sometimes to get up and just run. Not just run, but to run and do the podcast and then go to work and then do volleyball and then do schoolwork. And then everything feels like such a chore because the easier thing is to just do nothing.
Sleep in.
But it's so weird because we know what's good for us.
Exactly.
And yet the thing that's bad for us is much easier to do.
Yeah.
And so I think going into this next week, I'm going to continue to focus on preparing. And I want to figure out how to do this in a more organized manner. Because I feel like I'm hitting everything, but I feel like I'm doing it in a very unorganized format, if that makes sense. I want to hit my times. And of course, if things come up, that's okay. I'm not going to, miss out on those things. It happens. But, being proactive about setting times. We didn't do a good job today. We said we were going to film this at 9 o'clock, and it's almost 11, I'm sure. So, just being proactive about getting my times right. Even today, like we had a morning training session because another thing I'm preparing for is the grass volleyball season this summer. And just being, I said I was going to be in there at 7:30. I was there at like 7:45, and our session got cut because somebody else needed the gym at 9. So, just being more intentional about being more organized about this preparation thing. Because again, we talked about adapting, we talked about adjusting, and how all that stuff is important. But I feel like I'm preparing a little bit and adapting and adjusting a lot in my preparation plan.
Yeah.
Whereas I need to be able to set times, and then if I have to adjust those times and stuff, that's fine. That'll be much easier. But there will be a preparation and a plan in place to really guide me and just continue to build a firmer foundation. Right now I feel like my foundation is on wet sand. Not dry sand, but wet sand. And it needs to be more like dirt.
Yeah. I think preparation for me is going to look more like consistency. But also knowing that, life is not black and white. And sometimes things are going to come up and I need to learn how to be flexible and adapt. And that does not mean that I don't make time for the things that I prioritized.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I check stuff off of my calendar and say, well, didn't get to it today. No, I'm still going to make time for it. However, if it didn't happen in the time frame that I wanted that day, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think what I struggle with is, well, I didn't get to it at the time that I wanted. I'm just going to cross it off, or I'm just not going to do it. I'll start again tomorrow.
Yeah. You're lying to yourself.
I'm lying to myself. Because then I'll get to, it's been 2 weeks and I'm like, I've only lost half a pound. What the heck is happening?
Yeah.
I'm hitting all my macros. I'm working out every day. No, you missed that one day.
Yes, literally. That's so easy to do. It's so easy to play the victim when you've worked so hard and then fail. But the reality is, working hard does not equal success.
Yeah.
Working hard just equals honest feedback and better direction, you know? But it is easy to say, well, I prepared so hard. Surely it's the GMOs and that chicken from the fact, you know, like it's so easy to blame it on everything else, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, the data doesn't lie. So a part of that preparation is data. So at the end of my 30 days, I'm going to check in with myself. I'm going to look at everything that I wrote down, everything that I prepared, and I'm going to say, did I actually complete these tasks? And be honest with myself. Because if I'm not honest with myself, I'll never be able to overcome and get to my next transformation.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah.
Anything else for the good of the order?
Don't think so.
I think I'm good too. We've come a long way. We've got a long way to go. And so the road to transformation continues. And the road to day one, I guess you could say day one, but the end of the 120 days continues as well.
Day one is July 2nd.
That's right. July 2nd, it'll be over officially. So the road to that continues.
We'll see you next week.